Welcome to Caregiver, Counsel, Elder Law Insights with Tieesha Taylor.
So, are you worried that the nursing home will take your loved one's house or savings? You're not alone. This is one of the biggest fears families share with me. And today we're going to break it down together. Welcome back to Caregiver Counsel, Elder Law Insights. I'm Tieesha Taylor, founder and CEO of the elderly care law firm here in South Florida. I've built my practice on providing compassionate, generational legal services to families navigating some of life's toughest transitions, especially when it comes to Medicaid, guardianship, probate, and long term care. Today, we're going to answer a big question. What really happens to the home, the savings, or other assets when a loved one needs nursing home care? Families are often shocked at how expensive care can be. In Florida, average cost of nursing home care is around $9,000 to $10,000 per month. That's over $100,000 a year. Without a plan, those costs can drain a lifetime of savings quickly. So let's start with the big question. Can Medicaid really take everything? The answer is no. Medicaid doesn't send someone to take your house or empty your bank account. What really happens is this: Florida has strict rules about how much income and how many assets you're allowed to keep before Medicaid will pay for long term care. If you're over those limits, Medicaid will deny your application until you've spent down enough to qualify. This is why families feel like they're losing everything. They're forced to use up savings just to meet the guidelines. But here's the good news: Florida law allows certain assets, certain property, like your primary home and one car, to be exempt. They don't count that for Medicaid eligibility. And with the right legal planning, we often protect far more than people expect. So, what are some of the biggest myths I hear about paying for long term care, such as nursing home, assisted living, in home care services? Myth number one: Medicare will cover nursing home. Many families believe that Medicare will step in when mom or dad needs care, but Medicare only pays for short term rehab after hospital stays, maybe 20 to 100 days. It does not cover long term custodial care. Myth number two: you have to be completely broke to qualify for Medicaid. That also isn't true. Florida allows planning strategies like special trust or Medicaid compliant annuities to protect assets while still qualifying for Medicaid. Myth number three: just give everything to the kids. This is one of the biggest mistakes I see. If you transfer assets within the 5 year look back period, Medicaid can penalize you and delay your eligibility. That means your loved ones could be stuck without coverage during a critical time. So, what's the difference between spending down and actually planning for Medicaid? Spending down is when families pay bills and nursing home costs until their money runs out. That usually leaves little or nothing for the healthy spouse or for family needs. Medicaid planning is different. It uses legal tools like trust, annuities, and spousal protections to get someone qualified for Medicaid while preserving as much as possible. Here's an example: a couple who lives in Miami came to me with $2,000 in savings. Without planning, they would have had to spend nearly all of it on their care. But by creating a Medicaid compliant assets, we were able to qualify the husband for Medicaid while making sure the wife had income and stability at home. Let's talk about protecting the family home and savings. In Florida, your primary home is usually exempt if the applicant or spouse, child, or dependent relative lives there. That means you don't automatically lose the home. But there are still risks. For example, if the home isn't protected properly, sometimes the state can come in and place a lien after the person passes away, or that applies sometimes to real estate. But this is where legal tools come in, like a ladybird deed, trust, or other planning strategies that help make sure the house passes smoothly to family without being tied up in Medicaid recovery. Savings can also be protected with the right planning. Tools like qualified income trust or pool trusts allow families to qualify for Medicaid without having to drain accounts completely. A question I hear often is, what if my loved one is already in a nursing home? Is it too late? The answer is no, it's never too late. Even in a crisis, we can often protect money through exempt purchases, trusts, or annuities. For example, a family came to me after their father had already been in a nursing home for 3 months. They thought they had lost everything, but we were able to restructure their assets and qualify him for Medicaid while saving tens of thousands of dollars for his spouse at home. Now, let's talk about the mistakes I see families make. The biggest one is transferring the home or money directly to children. It seems simple, but it almost always causes penalties. Another mistake is waiting too long. By the time families come to me, they've already drained much of their savings. And finally, trying to handle this without legal help. Florida's Medicaid rules are complicated, and every family is different. What works for one situation may completely backfire in another. So, how does my team at Elderly Care Law Firm help families without adding stress? First, we sit down and look at the full picture: your income, assets, health needs, and family dynamics. Then we create a custom plan that follows Florida law and protects as much as possible. And we walk families step by step through the process. That way, they never feel like they're navigating this maze alone. Why timing matters. Timing matters so much. The earlier you plan, the more strategies you have available. Florida has a 5-year look back period for transfers of assets. That means if you gave away property during that time, Medicaid can penalize you. Planning ahead allows us to use long term tools like irrevocable trusts. But even in emergencies, there are still last minute strategies we can use to protect what's left. So, what's the first step if you're panicking about nursing home costs? Don't move money or transfer property without advice. That could make things worse. And call an elder law attorney who understands Medicaid planning. Gather documents like bank statements, deeds, insurance policies, and Social Security or pension information. That way, we can give you clear answers quickly. So, when a loved one needs nursing home care, it can feel overwhelming, like you're about to lose everything you've worked for. But the truth is, there are ways to protect your home, preserve your savings, and still make sure your loved ones get the care they need. So, here's what I want you to remember from today: Medicaid doesn't take everything, but you need to plan to protect what matters most. Don't fall for myths about gifting or thinking you must be broke first. And timing matters. But even if your loved one is already in a facility, it's not too late to protect assets. If you're facing a care crisis, don't wait. Visit elderlycarelawfirm.com or call us at 305-836-4697 to learn how we can help you protect your family's future. And remember, if this episode was helpful, please like, leave a review, and subscribe so you don't miss the next conversation here on Caregiver Counsel, Elder Law Insights with me, Tieesha Taylor.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and leave us a review in the comments.